Wholeness. This is Self-Expression by Aja. I decided to go ahead and make my video on depression. And I feel a little better now because I just got an unexpected phone call and voice message. And so I returned that person's call, and we actually just had a chat that I was able to get some of the things off. But so I have been depressed all my life. I have dealt with depression all of my life. I did not know that I was depressed. I did not learn about my depression until my late 20s. And I was diagnosed with severe depression, and I was diagnosed with what was called at that time multiple personality disorder, and they now call it dissociative disorder. And that actually brought me a lot of shame. I dealt with a lot of shame, growing up. And, I confessed this to someone that I love very much that, I did get something out of Christianity, and that due to the place that I was in, that with all the shame, so having the, I don't even know what word to use. I don't know. I don't think I want to get into that because I don't want to confuse anyone. But and I'm gonna make a video on so serious. I'm gonna make a video on that about what my beliefs are now, or what I know now. I really don't believe anything. I either know it or I don't. So I say that because I am depressed right now. I think it's more so situational suppression. And as some of you know, I am researching myself. I am working on understanding and knowing myself, why I do the things I do, why I have the mood swings I have. And, it is difficult for me, if I'm honest about it, to be around people, or if I, without compromising myself. Meaning I can be around people, but I'll sacrifice because for whatever reason, and being an empath, I tend to take on other people's stuff. And I am told that I don't have a filter, and I believe that, and I know that because, and so when I feel others' pain, and I have so much of my own, that makes me even more depressed. And also, the other thing is I also, the woman that I am in love with, let me know today that she wants to be alone. And I have to understand and respect that. And so I feel something in my heart concerning that. And it's something that I need to fix. It's something that I need to adjust. And so I'm determined to do that. And, one of the things I do now is I face my depression. I don't try to avoid it like I used to and wish it away and, oh, just be happy. I try to understand what it is that I'm feeling. I depression is so misunderstood. In my experience, it has been very misunderstood, which is another reason I have withdrawn from people, because it's just, I mean, it's like I have a lot to be depressed about. I had a lot to be depressed about, and I have a lot to be depressed about. You know, my brain works differently now, and I just do my best to stay as still as possible and as calm as possible, and not allow, people to disrupt or distract my space. I'm easily distracted as an empath. Now you think, well, what does that all have to do with depression? All of it. Everything that you see about me, under my about me part, is it's like, how do I say it? When I say misunderstood, because, and the cliche, snap out of it. Well, just do this, just do that. And so it's very important that I can control my environment, because due to other people's energies and feelings, I pick those up quickly. I pick those up very quickly. And sometimes I can't discern what's mine and what's theirs. And even when, no matter how hard I try to push away someone who's trying to be drawn to me, like for instance, sometimes, like I'll just give an example. Like my uncle Joe, Jonathan Renfro Sr. He is my favorite uncle, and I haven't talked to him in years. And I made that decision for personal reasons. I was going to call him the other day. I was discouraged from calling him because I just felt that I needed to talk to him and explain to him why I am where I am. But then I felt, well, maybe, it's best I didn't. Same thing with Monica and Wale Williams. I love them so much, and I was very close. Basically, these people that I'm talking about, I was very close to, and I say was because I'm not close to anyone now. And well, I'm speaking on a deeper level, so I don't want you two to be offended. But what I mean is, you know, and my reason for, honestly, my reason for not for choosing to back away from those three people in particular are because, and they're all Tauruses. Coincidentally, they're all Tauruses. Is because they're so obstinate in their ways, and I have changed so much. And Monica, if you watch this, I want you to know this. You're not going to recall it, but I'll be the scapegoat. I did call you from my new number, and you hung up on me. Now, you probably won't remember it, but if you can go back in your phone records, I'm sure you will find my number in there. Okay, and so when you hung up and didn't call me back, I just assumed that you were busy. I know how sidetracked you get and how you are with your boys and your family, so I didn't take it personal. But I never heard from you again. And so when you said you were calling me, you probably were calling me on the wrong number. And that's what I don't have that number anymore. And I did call you from my number, this number that I have right now. I called you from it. Then, let's see, there's just some people that I really miss a lot. The person I miss the most is Isabella. And it's like, well, why are you talking about this, about depression? Because it's depressing not to be around y'all. And it's depressing to be in a situation where I don't feel like I can be around you. And Isabella, the reason why I chose not to be around you is because I respect and love the way that your mother is raising you, and I did not want to be a part of any influence. I always respect children. I love and adore you. And however, what I made the decision to stay out of any of my any child that I loved and was a part of my life, Joseph and Josiah and Isaiah and Justin. And Justin, I know I scared you. I distance myself from all of them. However, I am willing to see you, any of you, especially you, Isabella, when you're 18. And, I don't believe the same way because I know differently. I know. And I did not want to clash with you all. And I really don't feel like I have anything in common with you all except for, I guess, probably love. And, the moments that I shared with you all were very precious to me. So, and then not having a relationship with my mother and father because it's too damaging to me, that's depressing. And not having a strong foundation on to have a proper relationship, that's depressing. Or having relationships where you're always taken advantage of or taken for granted, that's depressing. And accepting that I probably will not be able to be in a healthy relationship unless I have a very compassionate, selfless, supreme being spirit that can love me as I am. And that's the other thing. I identify as androgynous, and due to the division in this atmosphere, and of course the atmosphere is very depressing. So, and as an empath, that's why I'm doing this video now, because I had planned on not. There was one point where I just wasn't in a place because I was just feeling so good, and everything was going so great in my life. And I had a minor injury a couple of weeks ago, and so I admit at this moment I am very depressed, seriously, severely depressed, and but the thing that's interesting is no matter what, I get out of bed every day, no matter how hard it is, and why do I get out of bed? So I'm very proud of myself for that. So everything I do now is for me. And so I take an antidepressant, which I think I would be worse, because to me it's like, okay, I'm taking medicine. How do you still get depressed when you're on medication? But I was on a higher dosage, and I lowered the dosage because of the side effects. I still have side effects. Like I said, I'm very sensitive. And I don't even know if that word really describes when I say sensitive, because sensitivity has so many levels and has so many anyway, I was just actually I went off in thought because I was just thinking about I again, I'm so sensitive. Like, there are some people that I did not name, and one of the things that is important to me is I can feel when people really genuinely care and love me. And I know Uncle Joe really loves me. And I know Monica and Wale are really good friends. I know that. And Isabella and I have always had some type of connection I understand it now. I didn't understand it when I was around her, but our spirits and souls have always connected. Um, and Isabella, you're more than anointed. You're more than anointed. Um, let's see. And of course, my cousins, um, Joey and Raynon are like, they have a different spot in my life because, you know, we grew up together. So I don't know if I was, even though I'm their cousin, I felt more like a big sister. And, but they're all grown up, and I'm just very proud of them. And so, and Tina, thank you. I love you. Um, let's see. Oh, and the other thing too, you Tauruses, Wale, Monica, and Uncle Joe, because y'all are so bullheaded and fiery and hot-headed and stern, um, I would reply the same way. I would reply the same way. So let me see. Depression. I'm actually feeling a little better just talking about it. So I truly do just focus on feeling better, staying calm, doing all the things for myself that I neglected. Understanding that there's more to life than working and saving money, buying new cars, um, eating out, traveling, spending currency. I'm just in a totally different atmosphere, totally different place. It's like I now know what's the most important thing, and it's not what I do on the outside, it's what I do on the inside. So I am preparing for, like, I'm playing catch up to build momentum to prepare for my ascension, or prepare for my transition when I leave this flesh, this incarnation. So I just, think about my soul and who I really am, because I'm not this body, and I know that this is not my. Let me see. I'm not gonna. I don't want to say. The reason why I'm hesitating to say certain words, if you've watched some of my videos, you know that there's something wrong with the language. I know that there's something wrong with the language. I don't want to say wrong. There's something deceptive about the language, and saying certain words, do certain things, and you can't take it back. You know, when James chapter 3 talks about life and death is in the power of the tongue, and you say, I believe that, I know that, but do you know how it works from beginning to end? But anyway, I love you all. I've never stopped loving you. I've just been healing every wrong, every abuse that has been done to me since childhood, and forgiving myself for letting people treat me and not stand up for myself and not living and walking in my truth because of someone else's opinion or because of what someone else decided that this is how I was supposed to live. So that's all. I'm just going to live how I want to live, and I'm going to live on what's best for me. And it's depressing to so that's what I mean when I say it's depressing that our birthrights have been stolen. It's depressing that our currency has been stolen. It's depressing that we have been so deceived, and we have this energy that it is. It's beautiful to see the world rising up together. I just hope that this awakening doesn't have any deception in it, because it's like, why now? I mean, you didn't think it was wrong 400 years ago. You didn't think it was wrong 2 years ago. And, that I made a video, and that's why I said, I'm not asking. It's mine. I'm going to fight for it. When I say it, well, I will die for this, I will die for me. Yeah, I will die for me. And of course, when I say that word, I'm talking about shedding this flesh. I live forever. I'm an eternal supreme being. All of you are as well. And if you don't believe it, how do you expect to live forever? You are always going to live forever. But anyway, so it sucks being depressed. You can't always help it, but in understanding and facing it, I do what I just like when I'm feeling really down today. I lost, one of my favorite. I've lost two aunts and a cousin in a short period of time, and I've had to manage it in a different way. Because there's some shit I just can't control. So, but I can control my mood. So I am learning how to uplift my own mood and to, and then I say I'm bored, but I'm like, I'm not bored. I'm depressed, because there are things that I was so excited about, and it's like right now, and it's like, I was going into I had went into silence. I was going to be fasting, and I felt it was important for me to keep my mouth shut and just hear. But I kept feeling, I wasn't going to do no social media, but I kept feeling something. And I guess what I was feeling is the world coming together, but it was still something kind of off about it, in the sense of, we shouldn't have to go through this. We shouldn't have to do this. And so I just decided I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to stay calm, relaxed, and, just work on loving myself like I deserve to be loved, and treating myself the way I want to be treated, and demanding it. And so if a person cannot accept me as I am, that's, I can, my Aunt Helen, she's a Christian. but she's always loved me. So I know she loves me, and she's always been able to treat me. Basically, what I mean is she doesn't try to change me. She never tried to, um, yes, she told me that her beliefs are that homosexuality is wrong and it's a sin and an abomination to God. And I respect that. I no longer believe that. I know that that's not true. But she's never bothered me about what I'm doing in my life. She's just loved me. And Monica and Wale, they did the same thing. Now, my Uncle Joe, he had a little problem with, you never really said it in so many words, but I knew you did. And that's why I don't want to be around you and Aunt Bonnie, because, Aunt Bonnie, you've been trying to marry me off. And I don't want to be married. No, I don't really think anybody can. Well, first, I still have some doubts about someone being able to marry me, because I don't want to attract someone who wants to change me. I would want somebody who wants me the way I am. I am androgynous. And you're like, what does that mean? I am who I am, and that's how I identify. I already explained that. What's the definition of androgynous? Go look it up. Um, and the person has to be okay with it. And now we can't go to church, but no, I ain't going to church. I feel like the greater work is really telling my work is really telling people the truth. So that's why that. So I did that out of respect for and my respect and love for you all, and I did not want to clash with you because I'm different. Meaning, I just don't let nobody. I don't want nobody telling me anything. You need to do this. You need to do that. You need to do this. You need to do that. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't feel this way. That's what I don't want to hear. Stay away from her. Stay away from him. No, I just need to stay away. I just need to stay with myself and just get to know who I am and see what it is that I really want and why I know what it is that I want. I'm actually doing it. But like I said, I get distracted. Let's see. I think I didn't really go into. I mean, listen, I could have went into deep, but I don't want to make it too depressing. But I guess I just really wanted to make it clear and own the depression that I am working on. So I'm working on balancing my moods in the sense of learning how to, for instance, it doesn't matter. Anybody I'm around, it don't matter. If I'm around you, I feel it. Even when I'm not around, I don't even have to be around you, and I can feel certain things. And it's just like, the person who came and left that card on my door. I still feel you. But it's best that I stay to myself, because what I am finding, the more that I am myself, the more difficult it is for people to be around me, because they can't deal with the results of my head injury. And I understand that. And so why put you through that? I wouldn't want to be around it either. So, and it's also difficult for me to be around certain people because it's very irritating. It's very annoying. It's very, it's like, it's like certain sounds bother me. And really, what really bothers me is conflicting spirits that don't resonate with where I am. For instance, I have really been working on meditating, staying calm, breathing, and thinking about nothing is the goal. I had it happen for about 7 seconds. It was so weird to me. And I was reminded that I told someone it's impossible to think about nothing. It was impossible for me because my mind can have so much going on, and not only my mind, my heart, my gut, some other stuff that I don't understand yet. That I'm like, well, what is that? Well, what's that? Well, what's that? And just trying to manage it all, it can be very overwhelming, draining, and exhausting. So, and it's almost like I'm having to become numb, to try to numb. It's just like, you know, when I was growing up in Bowley, they had a very small library in the school. It was in the back of the classroom, and I would believe I read every book that library had on slavery, and I was so fascinated with Harriet Tubman and Frederick Douglass. And now that I know, it's just like I really do want to choose to remain optimistic that the world really awakens and not, get deceived or caught up in another illusion. Because for us all to come together in the sense of humanity as a human race, hear what I'm saying? Notice I didn't say, and people don't know racism and all these isms is a part of a program. It's a part of the illusion. It's part of the fake matrix. You don't have to participate in that. And then I also think, well, I have to go somewhere else. And so that somewhere else is inside. So that's what I'm learning to do, because I got bored a long time ago with the fake matrix. I was just bored with this incarnation. Like, what the fuck? This is like, ugh. So depression is not fun. Um, I'm going to do a video too about my love of the game of basketball, my love of reading, my love of drawing and writing, painting, learning. When you don't feel like when I don't want to do any of those things, I know I'm depressed. Let me see who else I miss. That I haven't talked to in a long time. Christy. Same thing. I just don't think any of you guys can be around me right now. And if I'm not going to say much, I might just, I was, sometimes, there's, My sister said to me she did not understand. My sister said she was not aware that I was depressed, and she said she didn't understand what I had to be depressed about. And and I understand why from her perspective she would say that. And that's why I'm making this video, because I'm trying to explain it from my perspective, which is why I am talking about so first of all, it's a chemical imbalance. So let's just start there. And I suffered a lot of trauma as a child. So I have an anxiety disorder, and I did not sleep well. I grew up in a home of domestic violence. There was a lot of fighting. I was a witness to a shooting and a lot of violence, and received a lot of abuse physically, emotionally, psychologically, sexually, financially, all areas myself. And I was not aware. I thought that that's just the way life was, which is one of the reasons I chose not to have children. I adopted, but I did not have children on my own, because I remember having the thought, if this is how I'm supposed to treat my children, well, then I don't want to have any. And then my womb was stolen. So, and I may or may not go into detail about that in another time. I know I'm being very open and transparent, but I figure maybe this can help someone. And since I answer to no one and I'm by myself, I have no girlfriend, I have no boyfriend. The thing that I'm really thinking about is that, which is something I've never done. I've had the opportunity to do, but I've never done. And I've kind of been encouraged to, I think that, once this Corona thing lifts, I'm just going to start dating. And since I'm making this video, I guess I'll just go ahead and say this now. I'm just going to be dating, and that's another thing. Well, I wasn't going to say that. Meaning I don't want to have any strings attached, but I do want to like spend quality time together. And I'm talking about like a month, 2 months, 3 months, traveling or just doing whatever we're doing. But again, I only want to do that with the person who wants to do that with me. Meaning, I don't want to do that with somebody who's going to try to persuade me to do something, and I don't want to try to persuade you to do anything, because I just told you I'm already in love with someone who decides that they want to be alone, and I'm going to respect that. But I do go through these things where I would appreciate some companionship. So now we got to do two things. We got to do the HIV test, and we got to do the COVID-19 test. So if you're not willing to do those two things, then I am not interested. My health is good, with the exception of I have a low white blood cell count, which has always been low since my 20s. I don't know why, maybe because of the stress. And that is why I am in quarantine. It's because, the white blood cells are a part of the immune system. So that was the only issue. And of course, my depression, anxiety, and, I smoke medicinal marijuana. And the benefit of that is because it affects your short-term memory. When I'm having flashbacks or traumatic thoughts or thinking about something that I'd prefer not to think about, the marijuana helps in so many ways. It helps me sleep. It helps me forget that I was just thinking about something terrible. Now, I don't think about so much the terrible things that happened to me. I think more about, I don't want to say it, but, what's happening in the world to humanity. And I'm glad we're getting to the point where we're getting ready to stop this division of human beings, because it is so fucking old and played out and does not fucking work. Just causes wars and conflicts. It's just like I don't even feel like I can be around my family, because this they believe like this, and they believe like this, and they believe like this. And I've studied it. It all comes from the same source, and it just broke off into different things, and they're all talking about the same thing. They just got different words and different terminologies for it, and then somebody thinks that theirs is better. And no, yours is just yours, and mine is just mine. And so I just decided I'm just going to create my own euphoria, my own utopia, my own what do I call it? I have this motto that I have on my wall of how I want to live and how I am living. And so I just want to make this very clear. I am open to reconnecting with anybody from my past if you truly think you can deal with me and accept every boundary that I put, because I've done the research on being an empath, and as an empath I have some pretty strict boundaries, and as an empath with also severe fibromyalgia. I don't like to talk about that much. I don't like to talk about any of these diagnoses because I am striving to heal all of them. But since I figure I might as well tell all of it, and that's depressing. And I do, for the most part, have an optimistic attitude. Just like right now, I have some things going on, but I haven't said any, I'm not saying anything about it. Like, for instance, my something on my body is hurting really bad right now. But that's all the time. And being a former athlete, of course, that added to it. So I've had a very stressful and traumatic life. And then, of course, I had the head injury. And so what I decided to do was to stop that, halt all of that energy, and like do something different. Meaning, I just feel like I can stop this. And, that's what I was hoping in practicing Christianity through Jesus Christ. And that just wasn't, from what I was understanding, I wasn't healing. And, I just wanted to feel better. And so let me see. I'm, I am learning to accept that all of my life up to this point has had very valuable lessons. And I look beyond some of the acts, and I just look deeper into the lessons and what I was to learn and to learn from it. And so I just want to make sure I don't miss someone. Well, obviously, if I didn't say your name, it's like every now and then, first of all, I always wish that there was someone that I could talk to. I'm always wanting to talk. But I also don't want to bother anyone because, usually it's about, me listening to them, but them not listening to me. And I know a lot of shit. So, and I just have this, I just like sharing. And I've always kind of been a helper, but I also understand that everybody don't want your help. And of course, that's why I'm, like I said, channeling everything inside me. I'm just helping myself. And like I said, making the most of this virus in the sense of what it's doing and giving. It's like we're supposed to clear the air, but now we're fighting for this. And, and I'm, wondering, but anyway, I do know that this too shall pass. And, you know, um, just, um, it's a good thing I'm smiling. So I guess it was good for me to do this because I just want to make sure it's something else I didn't leave out. But the good news is what's going on in the world right now. I believe that we're healing this, meaning um, as the world is healing, I'm healing as well, because the history that my ancestors have suffered, I suffer, and I believe it's getting ready to stop. And so I love all of you. Anyone that I have had any contact with, I do. I love you all. And there are two of you that I just don't like. And I really want you to leave me alone. And that is Anita. I don't like you. Okay, leave me alone. And I have a cousin. I don't want to say your name out of respect, but I know you know who you are. You said you weren't going to have anything to do with me. And your name starts with an L. Okay, well, that works. Lily, I don't like you. And the reason why, and I don't usually say that. As a matter of fact, I always kind of keep those things in because they say if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. But I know that I've always respected you, the both of you, but you haven't given me that. And so now I stand up for that. So I won't ever bother you again. If you see me, please ignore me. That works for me. And I still love you. And if I saw you in trouble on the street, I would help you because I'm a compassionate person. But stay out of my, not you, Lily. I haven't spoke to you since the last time you told me you didn't want to have anything to do with me, and I'm okay with that. But I don't like you because you're nasty, man. You're nasty. And from one Virgo to the next, heal that shit. Okay? We all went through something, all of us. And I wish, every black person, if you're black, if you are, I said I wasn't going to use that word, but if you are a person of my color in this world, we've all been through it. So we just got to heal it and move forward. And that is where I am. I don't want to have anything to do with the fake ass matrix and all its delusions and fucking games and playing and toying with our souls. I don't want to have anything to do with it. And no one's going to convince me to have anything to do with it. If you want to be a part of it, then you go ahead and do it, because that is really fucking depressing to me. And I feel like I'm in a tough situation right now because I am still connected to the fucking fake matrix. Okay. And, whew, my goal is to get the fuck out. So I need to focus all my energy on that. But to the person who said they wanted to be alone, I love you so much that I'm going to let you, I'll stay out of your way. So I said that from the beginning and I meant it. So I'm just going to go have fun and spend time with whoever wants to spend time with me, and that is male or female. Okay? But it has to be the right fit. We have to be compatible and really have a fucking good, balanced, and whole time, and eat great food, vegan food, fruits, vegetables, nuts, and okay with my hair, and okay with my raspy, deep voice, and okay with the fact that I don't shave my legs and I have hair under my arms. Some men really like that. So if you're that type of man, yes. Women, it's I never thought I would say this, but it's the truth. I really do feel like I need to take a break from you because and again, it doesn't mean I'm denouncing, I know some of y'all, that makes some of y'all happy, but women have an expectation for me that they're not able to reciprocate in a way that I feel like I deserve. And so my feminine side never gets really satisfied. So maybe it's the masculine part of me that is attracted to women. I don't know. But but for the right one, and I don't care what nationality you are, I don't care what color you are. I will confess that I've only dated within, but well, not see, that's interesting. I've dated without guys, but not girls, and but I'm open to all nationalities. Um, and I will say this: hygiene is very important to me. If you do not aroma, because and I know people say, well, that's important to me, but I'm going to go a little deeper because I'm so sensitive. Um, Everything I use is natural. Essence oils, essential oils, coconut oil. I don't use toxic products, and so I don't. And the perfumes make me sick. So that's very important. And your teeth. I should have made this video a long time ago. If you don't have nice teeth, I don't care if you smoke. I prefer, well, that's not true. I do. I can take you smoking weed, but not anything else. I've tried it. I don't like it. Okay, so if you smoke cigarettes, skip me. Now, if you're willing to stop smoking during the time we hanging out, I can do that. Like I said, I'm not gonna be holding myself to no one, and I don't think I'm a player, and I don't think I'm a this and that. I'm just gonna have a great time, and I'm not gonna just have random sex because I've never been able to do that. But I am open to it because I've been celibate for so damn long. I am open to really sharing some passion. Maybe that's why I'm fucking depressed. Shit. I have not had a passionate experience in years. Oh my goodness, it's too that is depressing when I really think about it. So but I can fix all that. But the good thing is Corona has given me time to rest, heal, feel better, relax. And I also, I have read where depression has its benefits, in the sense of getting you to slow down. And as somebody who's always been, ooh, woo, I don't see how, I used to go. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna let that be it. Peace.